and loans to the customers, 349. You might immediately notice that the group was very liquid because they had more deposits from customers than loans to customers. In general, against the backdrop of a very unfavorable situation, our group managed to, in a nutshell, to give you the main message, to confirm the capital strength, the capacity to control expenses, so to close the profit, but also definitely to be a very liquid one. If you go back to the toughest moments or the darkest moments of the financial crisis, it was when banks were illiquid, because all of a sudden we discovered that in the banking sector liquidity was not unlimited, it was before, but it was strictly rationed for many banks. Now the fact that our group is a standard group from the point of view of liquidity makes us very comfortable with the capacity to accommodate for customer needs and to have solved one of the most critical issues which affected the banking sector after the crisis. If you go quickly, this is again the proof. This is the loan deposit ratio. We showed it for Slovenia and the Banka Koper before. This is the figures for the Intesa Sanpaolo group. As you may notice, we are already below 1. That means we have more deposits than loans, which again is the proof of the financial or liquidity strength of the group, which is also proven by the fact that we have a strong capacity to control cost. The cost-income ratio is much better than all the 16 peer banks at the Eurozone level that we tested. If you can go next. And here we go. If you ask how strong is the bank these days, you will ask how much capital they have and how much the capital ratios are safe. And as again, here I can point out that among the point of strength of the Intesa Sanpaolo group is the capital endowment, and you can see here we are the third in the level of core capital, Basel III already capital, basically. Not what is the regulatory obligation now, but what is expected in the future. We are already ahead of time, and we are well above the regulatory requirements which Basel III implies, but not only that, we are much better than the peer group that we tested, and which is including all the major banks in Europe. Here, the liquidity. I mentioned that Banka Koper managed to repay something like 25% of our outstanding loans from the European Central Bank. Intesa Sanpaolo Group did even better, because they repaid 15 billion. Again, the scale is much different from us here in Slovenia. It's 15 billion out of 36 that they had. Now only 21 billion has to be paid by the beginning of 2015. So the group is already covering a lot of ground in order to make sure that by February 15, either we will be repaying the LTROs, the long-term refinancing operation of the European Central Bank, or we find with them another solution, but definitely it's one of the fastest repaying rates that European banks addressing ECB have shown in the last few months. As I said, Banka Koper did autonomously repay part of the European Central Bank funds. I think we are the only bank in Slovenia which did that, the only one, yes, until now. It's a proof of our liquidity and capacity to secure funding also for the future, because we were looking into 2014 and 15 and we felt comfortable in repaying the European Central Bank, which is, I would say, a good piece of news also for those who are looking at our stability. Is there anything else? I don't think we put any other figures here. It probably was the last one.
Now we give word to the judge.
Yeah. The question is a bit tricky in the sense that, obviously, if a company stops paying, we pursue all the legal means to recover the due and unpaid part of the loan. So when you say personal responsibility, we first address it. You want to translate maybe? Do you need a translation?
No, I understand.
English is okay,
yes,
sorry.
Okay, yeah.
So we pursued definitely, and we were quite strict in doing that, in terms of corporate responsibility. Sometimes we detected there was personal responsibilities, misbehavior by someone in dealing with us. And definitely, if we have the impression or evidence that some wrongdoing was done, which had a criminal implication, we do not hesitate to pursue the recovery at the same time as the criminal action. Yes, we do take a look always at the personal responsibility inside our organization institutions. Whenever we have a minimum of doubts about misconduct of our credit operations or any other operation by our staff, we look into the personal matter. First of all, we order an investigation by our internal audit department, and if the internal audit department comes up, which is a totally independent department, they can investigate on me and others as well. And we have two internal audit departments. One is local and one is international. And the international internal audit department, which is reporting directly to the group, they have no mercy on anyone, I can tell you. So if there is a doubt that something wrong has been done, they will carry out an investigation, and eventually, if there is some criminal wrongdoing emerging from the investigation, we are subject to a criminal action by our bodies. So we know that this is a very clear rule that we have. If you do something wrong because of misjudgment, that's to some extent is tolerated, even though it's penalized by the way of the fact that our career could be impacted. But if we do any wrongdoing because of criminal or unethical attitude, that means that sometimes our job position and our job as such is at risk.
Thank you.
Mogoče bi še jaz imela, danes se v parlamentu spreminja insolvenčna zakonodaja, mogoče za gospoda Kragla, ki bo močno tangirala banke, pa me zanima, kakšno je vaše stališče o tem, kar se pri nas potrjevalo, s tem potrebilo. Gre za velike spremembe pri pričakovanju glede razloževanja, so velika kritike, so pa tudi močne strani zlasti manjših bank. Me zanima vaše mnenje.
Ja, mi to tej spremembo te insolvenčne zakonodaje spremljamo že kar nekaj mesecev. V končni fazi je prišla iz enega zakona, če tako rečem, drugega. V končni fazi je vsa ta zgodba nastala, če se spomnite tistega 199. člena, ki je govoril v tistem starem zakonu o tem, na kakšen način naj se, če tako rečem, ekspropriira lastnike. Velikokrat se je pri restrukturiranju podjetij prišlo do točke, kjer lastniki niso hoteli reči ja, kapital je bil nula ali pa mogoče celo manj kot to, in v bistvu edina moč, ki je v tem smislu ostala, je bila ta, da na skupščini niso hoteli reči, da nekdo drug vstopi v to področje kapitala, tudi če bi govorili ne nazadnje o debtu equity swapu. Ta zakon zdaj to na nek način, če se tako izrazimo, rešuje. Rešuje v tem smislu, da je tisti del, bom rekel, nekritih bančnih terjatov, ki so pri nekem kreditojemalcu prišli do tega, da je v fazi restrukturiranja njegovih kreditov za eden od procedur oziroma v tem procesu restrukturiranja tudi predviden debt to equity. In tam je ta ovira do te mere zdaj sproščena, da se to lahko zgodi in da lahko upniki odločajo na bolj eleganten način, če tako rečem, kot je bilo to možno prej. Zdaj seveda v tem, kar sem zdaj povedal, je kar neki fines, da najbolj pomembno je to, da imamo na nek način, bodo potrebni še naprej kvorumi za to, da se bo to zgodilo, in v okviru neke upniške oziroma bodoče lastniške strukture se bo seveda v procesu tega restrukturiranja zdaj mogoče se bodo peljali 3 procesi, prej smo poznali 2. En je bilo finančno prestrukturiranje podjetja, en je bil biznis prestrukturiranje podjetja Zdaj bomo mogoče govorili o tem, da se bo spremenilo tudi lastniško razmerje oziroma da bo prišlo do lastniškega prestrukturiranja podjetja. Kakšne so približne strukture danes v bankah, vemo, ne? Mislim pa, da bo vse skupaj to v praksi pravzaprav se videlo takrat, ko bo začela funkcionirati naša družba za upravljanje terjatev bank. Tam se bodo ti zakoni, ki jih bojo danes sprejemali, oziroma ki se bodo lahko v končni fazi tudi, morebiti, bojo tekli 2 kroga, začeli udejanjati. Tam se bo pokazalo, na kakšen način bo to v praksi potekalo. Upam, da sem vam odgovoril.
As you know, we have signed the agreement in principle as the other shareholders to sell. I do think that it's the right moment for selling. We probably lost time last year. It would have been much better to sell it last year at a much higher price. Slovenia, not the banks, not the shareholders, would have benefited from that. I do hope that now we will get into a faster conclusion and a positive one as soon as possible, because I think it's about time that Slovenia showed that it can attract foreign investors.
In kdaj pričakujete, da bo to bilo sprovedeno morda v delo?
The agreement which was signed was calling for a tentative deadline, which was in the first few months of 2014. We have no news about that, so we are expecting everyone, all the parties involved in the transaction, to complete the deal in the next few months. Is that right?
Ta del, ki pomeni terminsko zaključitev tega dela, je opredeljen z tem, kar je bil takrat predviden plan. To se reče, da bo končano to predvidoma do konca marca 2014. Odvisno pa je v nekaterih aktivnosti, ki so v tem sporozumu opredeljene, in tu moramo poudariti, da so nekatere, ki so neodvisne, to se reče od lokalnih antitrust ofisov, če hočete, ki morajo podati tej transakciji pozitivno soglasje, in pa strukturirano v bistvu pravilno urejeno njihovo kreditno razmerje do bank. In ta drugi del je praktično pred koncem, ta, ki se pa tiče antitrust soglasij oziroma te stvari tečejo, ampak na njih ne moramo odgovoriti v časovno komponento. Te uradi so neodvisni in bodo pač sprejeli odločitve v tajmingu, kot ga bodo potrebovali.